Gemini season is here. Can we talk about how different the energy is feeling suddenly? Like things are moving again, people are finally texting back, ideas are hitting faster, and you suddenly want to change your hair, maybe start a podcast, flirt with someone, launch a business, book a trip, reinvent your personality. That is Gemini season. On May 20th, the sun officially moves into Gemini and the collective energy shifts from slow and sensual, grounded Taurus energy into movement, curiosity, conversation, into possibility. Gemini is mutable, and mutable signs are adaptable, flexible, and meant to evolve. Air signs rule the mind, so communication, ideas, perception, media, language, connection. So every year during Gemini season, life speeds up mentally. But here's the thing, Gemini gets misunderstood constantly. People reduce Gemini energy to being two-faced or chaotic, when in reality, Gemini is multidimensional. Gemini understands that humans are not one fixed identity. This sign exists to fucking explore, to ask questions, to experiment, to gather, to collect as much as they can and connect all the dots. And honestly, I love my Gemini friends. They have these absolute factory brains, like their minds never stop moving. One of my daughters is a Gemini rising, and she is literally a non-stop waterfall of intelligence and questions, ideas, stories, observations. She's constantly collecting little trinkets and information and random facts and connecting them all together. So Gemini is deeply curious about life. It wants to experience everything, understand everything, touch everything, learn everything. And I think that's actually such a beautiful quality when it's nurtured instead of judged. Empowered Gemini energy looks like curiosity and adaptability, yes, but storytelling, confidence while communicating, networking, humor, intelligence, social magnetism, trying new things, and allowing yourself to evolve. Disempowered Gemini, on the other hand, though, is anxiety, gossip, information overload, inconsistency, avoidance, and saying anything except the actual truth. Also doom scrolling instead of living. This season is going to test that line hard because astrologically things are moving fast right now. There are no major retrogrades or eclipses dominating this Gemini season, and that is rare energy. This season feels uninhibited, direct, accelerated. Things happen quickly now. So connections, downloads, breakthroughs, conversations, opportunities. It feels like the universe is saying, okay, go, move, decide. And some of you are going to feel wildly inspired by that, but others might feel overwhelmed because Gemini just moves fast. Transit we just had was Uranus entering Gemini, and this is huge, like genuinely history shifting astrology. Uranus is the planet of disruption, rebellion, innovation, awakening, technology, and sudden change. And now it's moving through the sign of communication, media, technology, information, and the mind itself. We are entering an entirely new era of communication. How do we even wrap our minds around this? But AI is exploding. Social media is evolving. Online identities are shifting, and they're shifting fast. People creating careers from their voice alone, massive shifts in education and media, and just the way that we connect as humans. This transit is going to completely reshape how humans learn, how we create and how we connect. And I honestly feel this already. I know you all do. There's this pressure to speak and to share and to express and to stop hiding your ideas. Gemini season this year feels like your voice matters now. And remember, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the messenger planet. It rules communication, yes, but also just how we carry ourselves through our words, our speech, our writing, our thinking, also travel. So what this season asks is, what conversations need to happen now? Not later, now. because avoidance gets very loud during Gemini season, and some of you already know exactly what conversation it is that you've been avoiding. Now, another really interesting layer to this season is Venus currently moving through Gemini until June 8th. And this makes the energy so flirty, juicy, fun. Like, people are craving connection right now, and they're getting it. Not necessarily like deep, heavy, serious, vulnerable connection immediately, but stimulating connection, mental chemistry, good fucking conversation, a good giggle. People are falling for minds right now. And because Venus is interacting with all of this Gemini energy, the season can bring unexpected interactions, maybe a random DM, reconnecting, people coming up from the past, networking opportunities, collaborations, and just fast moving social dynamics. One conversation could literally change your life this Gemini season. Some of the biggest opportunities during Gemini season won't come through force, they'll come through simple connection. On May 31st, we have a full moon in Sagittarius, and this feels big spiritually because Sagittarius is the opposite sign of Gemini. Gemini gathers information, and Sagittarius searches and sifts through for the meaning in this information. So this full moon may bring sudden realizations, hard truth bombs, spiritual awakenings, clarity about your direction, questioning old belief systems, seeing how much you've actually grown and giving yourself a pat on the back for that. This feels like a zoom out moment, like suddenly understanding the bigger picture, the aha. On June 1st, there's a major energetic shift because Mercury enters Cancer and the communication softens. We move from logical communication into emotional communication. People become more vulnerable, nostalgic. Conversations stop being, ooh, what do you think about this? And become, how do you feel about this? I think this transit is going to help a lot of people finally express the emotions that they've been intellectualizing and hiding inside instead of just processing them over and over and over. Then we end the season with the new moon in Gemini on June 15th. And this is the portal for reinvention. This is such good energy, okay? This is the energy that you want to harness in starting that podcast, in finding the confidence to launch that content, in learning about astrology, taking a course, doing more writing or marketing, trying a new hobby or anything new for that matter, and just putting yourself out there socially. If you've been missing your friends, go hang out with your friends. Gemini rules experimentation, and you do not need to have your entire identity figured out before beginning. And I love that about Gemini. They are always willing to try, and they are even willing to do it publicly. You can evolve publicly. Honestly, I think that's one of the biggest lessons of the season is stop waiting for this final version of yourself to come through before you start just fucking living your life. Gemini understands that identity is fluid. You discover yourself through movement and not before it. You can't wish yourself into anything. And if you're wanting some more help understanding this or exactly how Gemini season is affecting your chart personally, this is literally what I do. My clarity readings are the perfect need for a quick insight or quick guidance right now. My soul stamp readings are much deeper, and they go way into your birth chart, identity, purpose, patterns, and timing. But I also have my integrative astro calendar. It syncs directly to your phone, so you can actually work with this energy instead of feeling blindsided by it. Everything is linked, and I want to know what conversation, idea, version of yourself is trying to emerge during this Gemini season, okay? Because something tells me that this season will be changing people for the better.